Hey everybody, welcome back to Kratom Kingdom with your most gracious host, Chris Irving from West Palm Beach, Florida. But right now I'm residing in Knoxville, Tennessee. So if you live in Knoxville and you want to get lifted with Kratom Chris, hook me up in the comments and I would be glad to meet you anywhere close by Knoxville. Because I have no friends. I moved to Knoxville. I was in Florida, I was in a band. So when you're in a band, you have friends. It's just a given. You're just gonna have friends. And I mean, I'd be walking through Home Depot with my wife at the time, and some kid would run up like, "Hey, are you the bass player from Red Roses?" I'm like, yeah. I was like, "Yeah, that was awesome hanging out last night." I'm like, "What are you talking about hanging out? I don't remember hanging out with anybody last night." And he's like, "Well, you were on stage. I mean, well, yeah, duh. Then I guess by default we hung out, but." Don't make it sound like I got drunk and forgot I hung out with some cool fans. 'Cause that I wouldn't do. I don't drink for one thing. And I don't do drugs. Okay, I lied. I wanted to try this product called Mood because on my journey through natural medicines that come from plants that grow from the ground, medical marijuana is at the top of my list. So I ordered some from a company called Mood. It was all totally legal and legit over the internet, and it came right to my mailbox 3 days later. And there was only 6 of them in a pack for $25. But in retrospect, that was probably way more than enough, because me being me and the idiot I am, I took all 6 at one time. And I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. My phone's ringing, I'm like, I'm okay, Mom, I'm really okay, don't call the ambulance. So what did she do? She called the maintenance guy to come up and unlock my door, find me laying on the ground drooling like I had just had a seizure or something. He's like, "What, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just had a seizure." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta call an ambulance for that." I'm like, "No, please don't. If you call an ambulance, then they're gonna take away my driver's license." And they're like, "Well, anything that in my opinion requires medical, I don't look, I can get up and dance now." But it took me till the next day before I could get up and dance. I'm still a little hungover from it. Takeaway from Mood: amazing product, but amazingly strong. So take with care. Maybe try one, then a half hour later try another one, but don't just go, "Oh, these taste good." And they did taste good. I mean, they're just gummy bears or gummy blobs, but they're good. And I would recommend them especially if you're a marijuana user. If you're okay with THC and it blends well with your mind and you can chill, I would recommend it for a weekend off. I mean, next time I take it, if I do take it, I'm going to call my mom and say, "Mom, I'm going out of town for about a weekend, so don't call my house for about a weekend because I won't be able to answer the phone." And that is that. And check this out. I was walking into the lobby today, and there was a woman standing on the other side of the door. Now, remember, I live in an apartment which is called Section 8. It's for people on disability or retirement, living on pensions, and so my rent's very, very cheap. But all the tenants are 65 and above, and I'm only 33 years old. So how am I gonna meet a 33-year-old and have a loving romantic relationship? The internet. That's where I met my fiance. Which, yes, she is my fiance. But I'm not meeting anybody in town on the internet. So I gave that up. But there was a woman standing inside, and she was pretty. I mean, she was so pretty. I asked a stupid question. I'm like, "You don't look like you belong here. How old are you? Do you mind me asking?" She's like, "I'm 62. I was like, "What?" And she's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, 53. And she's like, what? You don't look 53. I'm like, yes, I do. I have gray eyebrows and a gray beard. And I take a lot of medicine. Trust me, I'm 53. Because it's 2003 right now, right? So that would make me 53. So, why drink kratom? What's the point of it? And that's a question my mom asked me. Chris, what's the point of you spending all this money on this tea that you drink every day? Number one, it gets rid of my migraines. Like right now, I have the baby starter. Today would be a migraine day. I could tell. I can feel it in my neck. I can feel it in my brain, all the way up to the migraine center of the brain. My eyes aren't focusing right, so I would be having a horrible migraine today. And so for pain, chronic pain equals kratom. Kratom equals the execution of chronic pain. So if you've got bad knees, which I have from walking on one leg all these years, if you have a bad back, I'm so sorry for you, and I think you should drink kratom for the pain. It's so much better than pain pills, because pain pills you get used to it and it doesn't work anymore and you gotta take more. That's not the same with kratom. With kratom you can incrementally change the strain of the dose and thereby build a bigger tolerance for it, or have a brand new tolerance for it. I switch strains every time I buy new kratom. I buy either a red or a green, but I just found a new place where they've got all kinds of different strains that they say do certain things, and I'm not in that. I mean, is it scientific? I don't know. Is anything about kratom scientific? I don't know. So, I think, and I don't think there's anything wrong with getting high. This coming from an ex-straight edge warrior. I was in a gang in West Palm Beach called Southside Straight Edge, and we all wore X's, and we were all hardcore tough guys, jocks thinking we were the shit. And if somebody came in front of me and walked in front of my face with a cigarette in their mouth, they would promptly get that cigarette smashed in their face. Because I didn't smoke. I don't smoke. I didn't ask for smoke to be blown on my face, so you're gonna get it in your fucking mouth and nose. And I'm gonna get a little tiny burn on my hand, but that's nothing compared to the happiness that I feel having smashed that cigarette in your face. And then that usually follows up with a punch. And only if you do it to a good adversary. A weak guy is gonna go, what's up with that, dude? What's up with that, dude? And want to fight, and want to do the pushing fight. I don't do the pushing fight thing. Anybody that does the pushing fight thing does not want to fight. They give you the first hint right there. If they talk to you before they're gonna kick your ass, they don't want to fight you. If they're like, what's up, you think you're so tough? I fucked your mama last night. That was tough. I mean, anybody that really wants to fight you is just gonna clock you. That's me, because I really want to fight you. I have so much repressed anger and angst in me that promptly, right after I mash that cigarette in your face, it's being followed up by my fist to your nose. So hopefully I've broken your nose, broken your cigarette, and gotten a message to you that you do not smoke around Chris Irving ever again. And I earned a tattoo that night. I mean, it's on my leg. It's got one X. We use X's instead of check marks, so every time I beat somebody up, I get another X. If it's for straight edge. One thing that we used to do that was probably kind of criminal was we would stand outside of a bar and we would watch people walk out of the bar, and if they looked like they were intoxicated, we would politely ask for their keys. Hey man, can I see your keys? They look exactly like mine. I just want to check them out, man. Oh yeah, dude, sure. I'm so drunk, you can drive me home. I will drive you home if you want me to. Nah, I can make it. I know where I live. I'll be fine. I do this all the time. I'm like, you do you? So then I take the keys, chuck them off into the ether of the parking lot where they will never be found again. Now that guy now has no car, no means to get home but an Uber or a taxi, and is not going to be driving home killing anybody that night. Okay, I have to explain. That was old Chris. That was Chris when he was straight edge hardcore in a punk rock band. Now I'm a 53-year-old adult who believes in live and let live. I let people smoke in my car. If they smoke, as long as they roll down the window. I'm not a tight ass anymore. I'm not militant anymore. And I'm not vegan anymore. I eat the shit out of some cheese. Okay, one more story that's making me so happy. In January, I was supposed to receive my disability check, which is about $1,000. I get $1,000 a month for being disabled for the rest of my life. Yay for me. I would much rather work at Taco Bell and earn my money than get a free check from the government. But that's not a potential, because working at Taco Bell, I might make $100 a week, maybe. So that's like $400 a month. And that's not enough to pay any rent, utilities, car stuff, gas, insurance, all that stuff. Doctor's bills, that doesn't pay for any of that. So I'm forced to stay on, because if I get a job and I'm on disability, they cut my disability off and just cut it off, and they cut off my Medicare. So I have no medical insurance, no money, no place to live. They just created a homeless crazy guy who can't afford to get his psychotic medicine, so he walks around talking to himself. So I spent hours on the phone with Disability SSI and my bank. I even went there a couple of times. I'm like, what's going on? Why didn't I get paid? And they're like, well, they say they paid you. Well, where's the check? We haven't gotten the check. It turns out the bank did everything right. They tried to send it to the wrong account, so the bank sent the check back to the SSI, to the government. And the government couldn't find my right bank account information, so they mailed me a check to my mailing address. And it's supposed to arrive today of all days. I mean, today. So my mom, from my father's inheritance when he passed away just recently, she had an extra $1,000 that she lent me to pay for my bills and my rent, because she has to pay my rent, otherwise I'll end up living with her again. She and I can't live together. We hate each other. We love each other, but we hate each other. I'm a pompous, narcissistic asshole. I really am. And Kratom really helps me with that. But now, today, she wants me to bring my computer to her house so she can go over my transactions step by step and give me a new budget. I don't need a new budget. My budget works awesome. It gives me an extra $500 a month. I really don't need a new. I really don't need a new budget. But she wants to be not necessary, since she had her strokes. She wants to be necessary, and she wants to rule the rules, to be the one. I'm your conservator. I'm going to take your money, and I'm going to give you cash every week of what you can spend. Bitch, I don't need weekly cash money to spend. I don't care about spending money. I need access to be able to pay my car insurance. If I change price, I need access to my accounts. I need you to leave me the fuck alone. So today's going to be another fight, because if my check doesn't come, then I have to go to her house, and it's going to end up into an argument. If my check does come today, then I go straight to the bank, deposit it, call her and say, problem solved, I already paid you back. And I did it all on my own, without a conservatorship. and she's still gonna be pissed off because she wants to be in control of my money. Because she's not even in control of her own money anymore. And I'm still I'm still okay enough to do it. I mean, my brain's a little whacked, but I use spreadsheets and they work perfect for me. I've never once not paid my rent. Never once. So I'm waiting for the mail truck right now, and decided making a video would keep my mind off of it, but all it really did was put my mind back on it because I talked about it. You guys know so much personal stuff about me, it's insane. And if you haven't done so yet, no, the majority of the people that watch my channel on Kratom don't subscribe. The benefits of subscribing are I talk about Kratom every single day, a new topic on Kratom. And some of that information is useful. Some of it is coming out my ass. But I try really hard with this channel, so if you would subscribe to it and hit the like button, because I need 1,000 subscribers before YouTube even considers me a YouTuber. And if I have 1,000 subscribers, that gives me some play when I contact some of these Kratom dealers and say, hey, I've got a pretty big following and I want to review your product. So send me a sample of your product and I will review it. And also, the more of you are, the more ideas I come up with. So, well, I think I'm going to end up here at 20 minutes. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.